Hi folks, I'm Josh, and today I want to explore with you why the city building game Banished has more in common with waiting and timed games like a dark room or candy box or cookie clicker than it does with something like SimCity or City Skylines, which are both also awesome city builders for their own reasons. But they are more transport sims. They're more about building up an economy through infrastructure. I thought about this the other day. I came back to it after not wanting to play City Skylines again, just because I wanted something simpler and more calm. After I played it for a bit, I realised it plays on people's desire to see numbers grow. And to do that, you occasionally have to interfere with, building farms and making sure there's enough food for everyone. But it's all about seeing the number of people grow, ultimately, by seeing the amount of stored logs grow and the amount of firewood and food to support those people, and then stone and iron to build tools and buildings for them. And it abstracts those numbers through the literal size of your town and the busyness of its streets. And although you can't, go in and interact with these people in any meaningful way apart from, following them like some kind of creeper, all of the objectives that you seek to fulfill in this game are about making and seeing those numbers grow and then going on to build larger things. Like here's a market which takes quite a lot of resource to complete, and then there's other stuff like a giant church which is quite an undertaking and shows that you've gotten quite far. So those idle games like Candy Box and Cookie Clicker attract people mostly for the reasons that they can kind of tune out and do something else while you're still having progress kind of happen in the background while you're not actually doing anything, but the numbers go up whether you're there or not. If you've ever played a dark room, then you'll know that it's not that interesting to start off with. You can stoke your fire and not really anything else. But the curiosity comes in when, say, a stranger stumbles into your hut, or you go gathering wood, and then it builds up very slowly and keeps you interested not only through the progress, but also by giving you points of interest to grab onto and dig into for either story reasons or feeling like you're going to build on that previous progress and unlock new stuff. Now, Banished doesn't do any of that in quite the same way, because you can build literally anything you want from the start. There's nothing to unlock apart from that base of knowledge, and learning those things like when to build stuff and how to maintain a good number of resources so that your people don't starve, and figuring out what things are appropriate at what time. That's part of your unraveling of this game's mechanics. The game tells you very little about exactly what each job does, about what each building does, and you get a pretty good idea because they're very basic concepts, but playing around with what the actual mechanical underlyings of that are is part of what you've got to work out. It gives you an objective not only of building this town, but to do that, you'll need to understand in quite a bit of detail the underlying workings of the game on a very specific mechanical level. It does have those basic city building and routing mechanics, but they're so removed from what you actually end up spending most of your time on, which is either waiting for stuff to happen or managing your resources and workers and building things in the right order. It's so far removed from that it stops becoming about how you build your city and more about when you build your city and in what order, because in, say, City Skylines, things have a pretty clear progression. You spend a lot of time waiting in this game. And for people that think games like Candy Box and Cookie Clicker are silly, then something like this is perfect because you don't have to go back to it if you don't want to. It's not always there in the background, but it does have that same sense of progression because of the way that people saw it as a challenge to figure out and understand the mechanics. So I really hope that other games will mix the waiting and unfolding mechanics of things like A Dark Room and Cookie Clicker into other genres and see what they come up with. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye!